Hello everyone. It gives me immense pleasure to address HR fraternity all over the world, sitting in the office of National Institute of Personnel Management, NIPM Trivandrum Chapter Office, which is in a way my alma mater in the field of HR. Friends, I am making this presentation in my capacity as the Certified Master Trainer on the topic a responsible business conduct in supply chain intermediaries. I had the golden opportunity to attend a detailed training program organized by International Labour Organization, Bangkok, in the month of September 2018. A word about International Labour Organization, ILO. As you are aware, ILO is making noble contribution in the field of labor for the last 100 years. And it has got 187 members in its fold. And India is a proud member of ILO. This project is titled Disney Project 2018 because this project worldwide is financially supported by Walt Disney Company. I have already introduced the topic. It is responsible business conduct in supply chain intermediaries. I would urge all of you to spread your mind to the total ambit of supply chain in your business. Supply chain is much outside your compound wall and extended to the nook and corner of this world. The intervention by ILO in this connection is to focus on your supply chain with the responsible business conduct. Naturally, one will ask a question. What is the relevance of responsible business conduct for the business? Friends, world over, the vigilant mechanism adopted by environmentalists, labor champions, safety guardians, and ethics protectioners is causing tremendous amount of questions to the business running itself. If it is impacted by a irresponsible business conduct, it can result in lawsuits, it can result in boycotts, media campaigns, disinvestment, and shareholder resolution, which necessarily will impact our business very badly. Hope you are able to appreciate the significance of supply chain in modern business. If I am to cite one or two examples of media interventions, media world over has reported the difficult plight of employees employed in the palm oil farms of Malaysia. They did not spare India also when Indian exporters involved child labor in their manufacturing. That also got exposed through the media. The world of today's business is surrounded or impacted by the core conventions of ILO, the high social responsibility standards set from time to time, local legal standards set by each legislature. These three variables are making a triangular impact on business. I am sure the picture of the need of responsible business conduct in supply chain intermediaries is fully convincing to you. Having explained the need of responsible business conduct in supply chain intermediaries, let me explain to you the framework made by International Labour Organization for successful intervention. Responsible business conduct in supply chain intermediaries cannot be achieved by mere sloganeering. The framework proposed by ILO is on a sound platform of good ethical business practice. Another major component of successful implementation of RBC is management system. Unless organizations, small or big, closely embrace sound management system, any amount of lip sympathy will not deliver results. Broadly, under the umbrella of management system, you have two components under RBC. One is labor and one is occupational safety and health. My humble endeavor here is to highlight the components of labor under RBC. Dear professionals, let me spend the next few minutes to explain to you the 7 important components falling under the umbrella of responsible business conduct. Once again, I urge each one of you to imagine in your mind the length and breadth of employees engaged in your supply chain. World over, the issue number 1 identified by ILO and human rights movement is child labor. The very word is self-explanatory, and when you decide upon the responsible business conduct, how do you address this system? Again, by management system by which your recruitment process, your selection process, your engagement process, not only in your organization, across the supply chain, by appropriate audit and system, you ensure that child labor is not engaged, child labor is not put to hazardous work, child labor is not put to overtime work, and all the negative ingredients which will put child labor into catastrophe will be eliminated by proper system. The second major component is forced labor. Forced labor is seen all over the world in the border areas where migrant workers are put to great difficulty by the employers. What is forced labor? You are blocking the movement and freedom of the employee in such a manner by withholding his passport, by withholding his salary, by paying him more advance, by making him more indebted. The poor employee is strangulated in such a fashion that he is unable to escape from the clutches of employers. This is a major issue seen all over the world, and now developed countries are insisting that they in none of in their supply chain the concerned employers will engage forced labor. The third aspect is a simple legal aspect of overtime payment. Due to the interventions of responsible political system across the world, it is normally understood that after a spread of normal working hours, anybody's extra working hour need to be treated as overtime, which again is self-explanatory. But on an audit by ILO across the world, they have found that instead of paying overtime, employers who are irresponsible have introduced a system of undertime, whereby even normal wages are not paid, saying that the required output is not required in the market. You see, that is the other limit of violation seen in the case of overtime. The fourth component of RBC is minimum salary. Thanks to the powerful eyes of legislators across the world, in every field of industrial employment, both in organized sector and unorganized sector, there is beautiful government intervention to ensure minimum salary. It is the responsibility of a healthy business conduct to ensure that all in the supply chain is paid minimum salary as per the statutory requirement. Dear friends, the next item of RBC must be fresh in your mind as if you open any newspaper today, one of the key topic being discussed is discrimination. Whether it is discrimination on the case of gender, in the case of caste, in the case of community, in the case of migrancy, original citizenship, world over, voice is being raised against this, and any violation in this platform is seen as a very, very bad practice by good companies. Even large multinational corporations, beyond our imagination, have been uh, entangled in disputes due to discriminatory behavior in one of the corner in their supply chain. So this is another key item under RBC. Another important item, one of the fundamental conventions of ILO is always propagating the freedom of association and collective bargaining in all its endeavors. In the supply chain, the freedom for association and collective bargaining is coming into an entry in a limited way. In the MSME sector and the small size sector, due to various reasons, employers are hesitant to create a platform for collective bargaining. When we say freedom of association and collective bargaining, please don't be carried away by the impression of a politicization of this body. What is ILO's noble intention is to create a platform for its employees in the supply chain to present their case and argue in a healthy fashion. The last item, which is a significant item which is being discussed across the globe, is the social security. If you take the history of labor legislations in India or all over the world, responsible countries have enacted various forward-looking legislations to ensure social security, which has resulted in tremendous amount of social comfort in the organized sector. But please have a deep look in the supply chain. Are we ensuring a responsible social security system across the supply chain? If as a world, as a nation, if we have to claim that we are in the progressive graph, then we must ensure that social security umbrella is extended to each and every one in the organized sector as well as the unorganized sector in the supply chain. So I have, in this brief time allotted to me, I have tried to picturize the child labor, forced labor, overtime, minimum salary, discrimination, freedom of association and collective bargaining, and social security, which are the 7 pillars on which we can build a responsible business environment. I am sure, going back after listening to this small presentation, each one of you will put your best effort to have a microscopic look into the practices in your supply chain and come out with very good guidelines in the beginning itself, so that no unhealthy practice is creeping into the system. If you are a responsible business conduct with a sufficient focus on the supply chain, world over, you will be recognized as a pride employer. So the ILO intervention is with the spirit that the employees across the world, even in the smallest chain of business, should be given what is due to him. Dear friends, the ILO program I attended is very exhaustive, with an online education for over a month and classroom training for 5 days at Bangkok. I have tried to summarize whatever I learned in 5 days in the 10 to 15 minutes allotted to me. I am after attending this program, I have personally decided to take it as a missionary zeal to propagate this noble intervention by ILO. I am available and I am offering my service to all the field of management starting from academic institutions, small and big institutions. If you are desirous, kindly contact me. My address details are given in this slide. I will be rather enthusiastic to come to you and impart you the best positive learnings I got from ILO. I conclude this presentation once again saluting National Institute of Personnel Management, which is a pioneer body in propagating the cause of labor and management across the country. Thank you very much.